Hello, and welcome to the Sonic Hustle, a complete and total Sonic lore podcast. I am the teacher, Dan.
I'm one of the students, Morg.
And I am the other student, Devin.
So, you might be wondering why I said that instead of what I usually say. So
it turns out the last school, may have run into a bit of financial trouble. And got shut down by the big state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we weren't
it had some, falling concrete on the kids.
Yeah.
What we didn't tell you is that we were in the UK. No,
Yeah, what we didn't tell you is that we are both violently concussed, but we're back.
And there were additional complaints that, teaching your classes randomly and holistically is not good for the test scores. So,
fucking Common Core.
Yeah, they're like, it's holistic holistic medicine is what Sonic, obviously.
That's also true.
Needed for, passing my med classes is learning about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and also, turns out, even though he taught things holistically, holistic medicine doesn't really treat, concrete.
Yeah,
so
it
true.
Doesn't treat chaos control fever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what actually happened, is that Sonic busted through our school, and that's why concrete fell on our heads. That's actually...
I could call this podcast Sonic Schoolhouse, but I don't really want to because that game is upsetting.
Sonic Schoolhouse Rock, where the concrete will fall on you.
I don't know that game. I like Sonic Hustle. I think it's cute. Tell us what you think, I guess. Listeners.
Yeah. We'd love some input. Some other ideas.
We'd love some input, but no negative feedback. Thank you.
Yeah. Some other stuff we were thinking of was the Sonic Shuffle stacked deck. Maybe playing on the concept of one of the Sonic Mega Collections. Just give it a name that sounds like a collection of games. But
one of them was Dr. Starline's Mean Bean Machine.
Sonic Dream Collection.
I think I have thought of arc subtitles,
Devin talks about Dr. Starline again. That can be one arc.
Yeah, if we ever get to IDW, and we will eventually, a long time from now, we could just call it Dr. Starline's Mean Bean Machine. But yeah, what the fuck was I gonna say? I was gonna talk about, the curriculum. Right. So, instead of just rolling a die randomly, I wrote out a plan for how we'll be approaching the podcast for the foreseeable future. So, we're gonna start with this episode. We're gonna finish talking about Sonic Mania. We'll be covering the, back half of the game. I thought about doing Encore mode stuff, but there's not enough to go off of. From there, we're going to talk about Sonic Adventure 2. And for a while we'll be going through some more games.
That's what I know.
We'll finish Sonic Adventure 2, and from there go from more or less release order kind of. So we'll be covering Sonic Advance 2, Sonic Battle, and Sonic Heroes.
So listeners, if you were scared that we would not be covering Sonic the Werehog, do not worry.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we will get there.
We will get there. But it'll be a little while. Next, we're gonna finish up on Sonic X Season 1, cause, we lost the episodes that, where we talked about the end of the first season, and we have to talk about the end of the first season. It's something.
Yeah, we gotta talk about Krista's mental illness.
Yeah. I don't think I remembered us losing those.
I lost my recordings for them. I think I think I think your recordings were fine. Then we're gonna finish then we're going to go through Sonic X Season 2, which includes adaptations of Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Battle. After that,
it has more bits of Chris's mental illness.
Yeah. Once we finish that, we'll go back to some more games. That'll include Sonic Advance 3, Sonic Rush, Shadow the Hedgehog, and Sonic 06. Now, essentially this game progression is to build up to Sonic 06. I'm really excited about that one. It is sort of the end of an era for Sonic. So we're going
it's
after
infamous
we finish
for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where they fully were like, maybe this 3D game thing isn't fully working out.
Maybe we're making too many games and maybe we need to not rush for holiday releases.
Yeah.
So
something that they could teach the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
Something the Pokemon Company may
Nintendo.
have to learn the hard way. So at this point that we'll finish talking about Sonic X and cover Season 3, where we'll get to see all sorts of things like Chris getting turned into a little boy after living his adult life, and Tails' girlfriend who's a plant, and Sonic's friend who dies. Or sorry, Shadow's friend who dies.
We'll get to see where Sonic becomes evil for like 1 second.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually in it or not. It might be.
Shadow Sonic?
Or Nazo.
Or Dark Sonic or whatever, like whatever he is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because...
This is extremely normal.
Once we cover Sonic 06, I want us to, the next game I would want to talk about is Sonic Chronicles. However, there's some stuff I want to go through in Sonic Chronicle, or before we get into Sonic Chronicles.
What are you laughing about, Devin?
Yeah?
Devin's
Yeah,
dying.
it's just a funny game.
It is quite a game.
It's just a very funny game.
I was like, what are you dying about? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna finish talking about Sat AM. We'll talk about the second season of that.
Oh, yeah.
We might talk about the only episodes of Sonic Underground that matter, which are the ones Knuckles is in, and the baby episode.
Oh, thank God.
We have to talk about the baby episode.
Baby episode.
I can't wait to see Sonic Underground Knuckles because Sonic Underground is so fucking weird.
Yeah. And from there, the next arc will be the Pendersverse. We're gonna go through Archie Sonic all the way to the end of the original Ken Penders run.
Oh God.
I think I'll be at full power by then.
Oh God. That's gonna be a long...
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time, but...
a long one.
I'm gonna be levitating off the ground for that entire, like, recording series.
We're
Terrifying.
we're gonna be so powerful, and before we can talk about Sonic Chronicles, we need to understand exactly what was getting ripped off, which is why we have to learn about Julie Sue, eventually Laura Sue, and all sorts of other echidnas.
Fuck.
I
feel like at that point, my voice might drop fully, so I'll sound even more powerful for that recording too, maybe.
Yeah. I will also be including, if there's ever like a week where it was just too much for us, we'll take a little reprieve by dipping into some other stuff from between the start of Sonic and Sonic Chronicles. Maybe we'll read some STC, maybe we'll go through Sonic Riders or some other side games. And so, yeah, we will be going through Archie Sonic issue 159. And then we talk about Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood.
The Dark Brotherhood. Oh no.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's developed by BioWare Montreal.
Great.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
A great Canadian export.
Why didn't they call it, Chronicles? Nope, that's nothing. I thought that was gonna be something and it wasn't. I apologize.
But after that, we're basically just gonna sort of be like done with, we won't be done with the podcast. We'll just do whatever we feel like from that point on. So yeah, that's sort of the game plan going forward.
Yeah. We have a lesson plan now.
Yeah.
We're like a real school. We're almost accredited.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
Oh, what? We could call ourselves
Finally, I don't have to go home, and when
something.
my parents say, "What are you learning in school?" I say, "I don't know."
Power you. We're learning about Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, that's the plan. So I think now we can get into the discussion. I do want to note, news segments will probably be more sparing. Like, we're always going to be like at least a week behind. So we're going to be very limited in what we can actually discuss.
Yeah.
Like if there's going to be big things, you know.
Yeah.
Probably talk about that, but.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh god, there's a new...
Yeah, like if they announce that Sonic is going to be in Fortnite, we will be covering that.
Yeah, of course.
There's going to be a fucking Dr. Starline video game, like...
Yeah, it's going to be his 100-hour MMORPG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
I need to figure out what a Dr. Starline video game would be like. Probably Dungeon Keeper.
Yeah.
Or Evil Genius. Hi, this is Dan. Recording on January 6th, the day I intend to upload this episode. And I'm here with a special news segment that I simply don't want to have betrothed into time between recording and uploading, called Aegis Watch. You see, Sega of America, as we've talked about before on the podcast, has a union called the Allied Employees Guild Improving Sega, or Aegis. They naturally, since they've been formed, Sega management has been trying pretty fervently to bust this union, especially in the wake of many layoffs across the Western games industry. So far, Aegis has held out. They have not outright gone on strike, as far as I can tell. And right as of this time, the main thing they ask of listeners like you and just the general public is to just spread the word of Aegis, participate in any petitions they have, and just stand in solidarity with them. So that's what we're doing. There will be another segment on this, whenever, the situation changes with Aegis. Back to the show. I guess now we can start talking about Sonic Mania. So we pick up where we last left off. Sonic had just beaten Metal Sonic in a big, cool fight. And from there, they sort of run into the hard-boiled heavies again. And
I love them.
Yeah, I love them so much. I'm gonna have to really talk about one of them this session.
Is it gonna be the gay wizard?
Well, the gay wizard's one of them. The other one I gotta talk about is the knight one. The gay knight.
That's also true.
Hell yeah.
So, they move on from, they move on to Hydrocity, or Hydro City, however you choose to pronounce it.
It's Hydrocity.
Yeah, in my heart I think Hydrocity.
But it's like, ooh, it's a water city, so Hydro City. But it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, maybe if you're like uncultured and have no fun in your heart, but it's Hydrocity.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we are just a pro Hydrocity podcast.
We are a pro Hydrocity podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Official stance.
Remember to hydrate.
Yeah, hydrate.
Drink your bong water, kids.
Drink your water.
Ew.
So, it is, of course, Hydrocity Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, playing with all the sorts of assets there. There's some really fun stuff where, like, Sonic's in a bubble, and you have to, like, move him around appropriately to get to the right points. They added some boats. I'm gonna skip ahead to the mini-boss, because that's where it gets fun. The mini-boss of this stage is Dr. Eggman in, like, this weird reverse version of the boss fight from, the original game, where instead of, like, you trying to get his machine, you're in the machine trying to get him.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Part of it is he's in, like, a wetsuit and he's dropping bombs, so you have to, like, make sure to suck him up in the right position so you get him, but you don't get the bombs. It's a good bit. From there we move on to Act 2, and it's more of Hydrocity Zone. We know this. But the boss is fucking incredible because at first it's like it's a 2-act boss. It's like the first act is like sort of playing with the really cool mechanic where you like are like going through like the sort of like flowing water passageways, and you've got to like hit these little bombs so that are like in front of you so that they hit Robotnik, who's chasing you. And also all the while you gotta like grab bubbles to make sure you don't like drown. Cause the long player is playing as Supersonic. Supersonic can still drown.
I do like when we were watching this, I would know we're getting close to the boss whenever the long player would just be like, okay, Supersonic time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second act of the boss is sort of the mini boss from the original game where Robotnik's in like the little like pod thing and he's spinning the like water turbine. But the long player deals with this easily because they're playing as Supersonic. From there, we enter Mirage Saloon Zone. Which is very different in both acts. Also want to shout...
it's my favorite zone.
Yeah, it fucking rules.
It surprised me.
It fucking whips ass.
Yeah,
they shoot you at a big comedy gun.
Yeah, it's so good. We open with like a sort of a play on the I can't remember what it's called, the sky level from Sonic 2. Except you're in the desert, and Knuckles is on the plane at the start, but gets knocked off by the hard-boiled heavy of this stage. I believe it's Heavy Magician. They're a magician.
My favorite person.
Mm-hmm. I believe they...
Just shows up, says, fuck you, Knuckles.
Mm.
Tips his hat, says, Masonic.
Yeah. I remember, let me just check.
He releases a sandworm and then turns into birds.
Yeah. She has she, her pronouns.
I know!
I'm happy for her.
Did I know that? Oh no, I thought it was one of the other hardboiled heavies. Anyways, love her.
Yeah.
I didn't realize pronouns.
Yeah, it's a neat bit of trivia.
Oh yeah, because I think the last time we recorded, I was like, I love this robot, and y'all were like, the robot's trans, and I said, fantastic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Dan knew that. I didn't. I don't think I knew that initially.
Heavy Rider, who is another one we're going to be talking about, is also uses she, her pronouns.
I hope they're dating.
I hope so too. Can't go wrong with like a fighter mage combo.
Exactly.
So the first stage, you're in the plane, but eventually you get to this section where Sonic has to like get on a train that Robotnik is driving, and it's more like a regular stage there. I think there's technically a Game Gear stage that uses this idea, which makes sense because Heavy Magician also has like Game Gear powers.
Can we talk about how part of the stage is you get to jump into a gun and then it does like a 6-shooter spin and then shoots you out of it?
Yeah, it fucking rules.
Because I think that's inspired.
Mm-hmm. Just a big ol', instead of like a barrel or a cannon, it's a good old revolver.
It's a gun. It's a revolver being held by like a magical hand and it just shoots you.
Yeah. And then we get the mini boss of Act 1, which is a giant robot sandworm, and it has this fun thing where it will where it'll jump across the screen, and then you'll see in the background some burrowing animations to tell you which direction it's gonna come from. Fucking rules.
This is at the point where the long player pressed the win button, which is turned into Supersonic and stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am realizing that Supersonic has a little pulsing with energy idle animation.
Yeah.
It rules.
Yeah, Supersonic cool. I do think it's funny every time where they just go, okay, time to press the win button.
Yeah. There's also a really good gag where, the way every, Act 1 stage ends is with, the little sign coming down, and you can, bounce it around to get extra points. It seemingly is floating in the air when you eventually, let it go this time. But, then the act begins, and, up flies, Heavy Magician, who has it on her hat. We also get to see Be the Dynamite. I don't know if this is
or may not be the magician.
It might just be a weird magician's illusion.
Yeah, magician's trick.
Yeah. And from here we begin Act 2, which is a regular stage. And it has one of my favorite tracks in the entire game.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I remember, following, the, sort of a development news, and, this was the second stage that ever got shown of this game. And I remember just, listening to the background music for it, like, over and over again. It's good stuff.
Some things I would like to point out in this stage. There are wanted posters for, I assume, Knack the Weasel. Randomly throughout the stage, which is a bit of foreshadowing, and we know we love that.
Yeah.
And then any of the posters of, who's the main, robot?
Heavy Emperor.
Yeah, Heavy Emperor. Every time you pass him, his eyes will open and he'll start following you across the screen.
Yeah, it's really good. It's, the stage is like, it's a desert stage, but it's got like, it's both like a bar and, it's the Wild West, and,
it feels like what if a gay magician decided that they love the Wild West, which is right up my alley.
Yeah.
So they're like, what if I did a magician's trick on this random desert?
Cowboy wizards are definitely an aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely where I want to live.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't want to live in the desert.
Nah, I'm fine with it.
There's some fun stuff like little spinny chairs and barrels. There's big pianos you can walk on. It's a great stage.
Yeah, it rolls here.
Eventually you get to the boss, who is Heavy Magician. And the way they fight is they have a little box that they go into, and when they come out of the box, they're either Knack the Weasel, being the dynamite, or Bark the polar bear. And each one has like its own little attack patterns. It's great.
We do not get to see the attack pattern because, once again, Long Player said press the win button.
I will note, I remember having a bit of trouble with the Bark one just because the Bark one will hit you hard.
Yeah.
From there, they win the stage and jump into another, like, handgun cannon. A hand cannon, if you will, into Oil Ocean Zone.
This place is hellish.
At first it's just sort of like Oil Ocean Zone from the original Sonic 2 level, but then there's like a fucking twist where you get like a fire shield, and the fire shield sets the oil on fire. At first you're like immune to it because the fire shield's immune to fire, but it's fucking scary. It's like a really detailed fire animation.
Yeah, this is a creepypasta anime zone.
I mean,
yeah.
This game, like, it's new enough that they probably could have incorporated creepypasta stuff.
They were like, we were thinking of you, creepypasta, when we made the Hell Zone.
Yeah, there's a later thing in an upcoming stage that looks like it was inspired by Tails Doll. We'll get to it.
Are you talking about the part where they get to the weird dimension where the sky is like zooming by really fast and it's all purple and Sonic is floating like he's in hell?
No, but that's pretty good too. I was just thinking of like the little Amy version of the Tails Doll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they after you finish like the Act 1 boss, which is just like a guy who throws fucking wrenches at you.
Just a blue collar worker that Sonic kills violently.
Cause
he hates middle America.
Sonic's like, I'm the allegations.
Sonic's like, I'm the only blue life that
matters. He's the only blue life that matters.
I'm the only blue collar that matters. And then the whole stage gets set on fire and it's full of smoke. So Act 2 is where it gets real freaky, because in addition to the fire stuff from before, the stage is like routinely filling up with smoke, and when it gets like maximum smokiness, it like saps away your rings, until you like eventually suffocate.
It saps away your rings, also called smoke inhalation, also called cancer, kids.
Yeah. Sonic can like ventilate it or something by pulling certain switches. It gets rid of the smoke, and that's kind of what's important. I will say, the smoke effects on this are real freaky.
I know. I like looked away at one point and didn't know the smoke effects were coming, and I looked back and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Spooky.
It's,
Ooh.
and you see, this is why oil's bad. Don't start oil fires. It'll kill you.
They'll kill you. Oil in the ocean bad. Crazy. That was cute.
Sorry, that was my cat who decided once again I am talking to people and not her, and that's a mistake.
It was just very cute, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she jumped up and then immediately said, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be on your lap right now," and jumped off.
Mm-hmm. That's so good.
She's experiencing conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Conflict. Oh no.
Eventually we get to face the boss, which is like, also there's like sections where Sonic gets to go inside a submarine, anyways, the boss is basically a scaled up, fancier version of the boss from Sonic 2, except this time
he's an oil kraken.
Yeah, it's a big oil kraken. It's like a variant of like the little octopus enemy seen throughout the stage.
Big octopus enemy.
Eventually, you finish Act 2. You get to Lava Reef Zone. It starts out pretty similar, but then there's this whole part where, you, like, bust into a cage that's, you bust into this cage that has, like, the drill robots from the, original game in it. It's neat. You get to fight a really big one as the, stage 1 mini-boss. And from here, like, both this part and, like, stage 2 have, like, a real emphasis on the area being more industrialized by Robotnik. It's a neat look.
Yeah.
This game just looks good. Like, I know that's such a basic thing to say, but it does.
It's very visually appealing. I like looking at it every time.
It's incredible sprite work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Act 2 has you going into, the Act 2 from the original game, and the remix of that zone is incredibly beautiful. It's amazing. Also the Act 1 boss, really big, kinda scary.
Yeah.
Has this whole thing where it's like drilling down parts of like the level that's around you, and you just have to like make sure that it gets like heated up by these lava plumes. From there, we've got Act 2. We've got this absolutely gorgeous remix of the original Act 2 theme, which is a variant of the Hidden Palace theme. eventually we get to the boss, which is like overlooking it is the Death Egg, or maybe it's Metallic Madness. But the boss of this one is Heavy. I think it's Heavy Rider. Heavy Rider.
Yeah.
She has a Motobug mount named Jimmy. The way the fight works is she's riding around on this Motobug that like jumps by doing a little like just basically shooting its wheel, extending its wheel. It's very silly. Not really shown off during the footage we watched, but it's a neat fight. Jimmy is a reference to Jimmy is a reference to a mod someone made of the original like Sonic 1, which let you play as a Motobug. It was a ROM hack by Polygon Jim, also known as Grandmaster Jimmy, Pegleg Jimmy, who passed away at 21 in a car crash in 2013. But this stage is like a little tribute to him. And it's nice that they were able to include this little guy in here. Overall, I just really appreciate this whole thing. From there, we move on to the penultimate stage of this game and the final stage of Sonic Mania. The final stage of Sonic CD, Metallic Madness. The music goes hard in this one. It's really good.
Yeah, it pops off.
Cool name for a zone.
Yeah.
It's got like these really good gimmicks.
It has
in the
three dimensions.
Yeah, there's like a whole like background foreground thing where you can like step on these like weighted catapults and get flung into either the background or foreground. It's a good nod to like how the stage worked in Sonic CD. It looks cool when it happens as well. The sprite work on this is really nice. There's these like big bees with carrying around like chains or chained balls, spiked ball chains. And from there we get to like the sort of the Act 1 boss is a sort of like recreation of the original final boss from Sonic 1, which is pretty cool, I think. Like it's doing all the same like moves and techniques, except this time you've got years of experience and rings, and possibly your supersonic. Those death points will still kill you though.
Yeah. Gotta watch out for those ones.
From there, it also gets like a hard mode where it like starts like moving faster and more erratically. Oh, cop car outside.
Speaking of blue lives that don't matter.
Mm-hmm. Those blue lights do not matter at all.
Sorry, will we lose our accreditation if I say that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, thank God.
So we move on to Act 2. And this one's got... It's got like little like weird spinny orb things from Sonic CD. Or spinny cylinder things. Where you're going into the background and foreground. And also it's got Tiny Sonic.
Little baby Sonic.
We love to see Tiny Sonic.
He's so cute. And of course there's a separate spreadsheet for Tiny Supersonic. And it's much more extended than the original like Tiny Sonic bits from Sonic CD. And in fact you have to fight the boss as Tiny Sonic. And the boss is Dr. Robotnik in a gachapon machine.
Love him.
Mm-hmm. The way the fight works is, you can't quite jump up to reach him because you're so tiny, but, instead, there's, like, this switch he's got, the gachapon, like, crank, and, like, hitting that will cause, like, little, unique enemies to show up to sort of, like, fight you. You get Egg Robos, you get like Eggmen, you get, the Drill Tank from Sonic 2, you get, Amy, but she's a Tails doll.
Yeah, but she fucked up and twisted.
Uh-huh. And, once you, like, get rid of all of them, you win. I will give the long player credit, basically what happens is you fucking turn the crank one last time and he falls out of the machine. It's great.
I love that Eggman put that into his machine design.
Why would you?
Yeah.
He was like, I have to.
He's like, the final prize. Me.
Yeah.
Me.
It's one day he's gonna like reciprocate someone's feelings, and he's gonna bring out that machine and have them, like, turn the crank a whole bunch until he comes out. The end of level cutscene is really good. It's, like, invoking the OVA as, like, we see this giant fucking robot in the background as lightning goes off.
Yeah, it whipped.
And from there we get Titanic Monarch Zone. Which is, I guess, the inside of a giant robot or something. It's really, it's kind of freaky looking. It's like it's got like these like city backgrounds. It's something between like a city and a motherboard.
I do love robots that are so big that they can functionally hold cities.
Yeah. There's some good... One thing that's fun about 40k scale is there'll just be like ships that are just entire nations unto themselves. Just like with like cities and underbellies and stuff like that. So one of the like gimmicks here, it's got a bunch of stuff from the various final stages throughout the games. But one notable thing are these like egg robocars where you get in them and they just like shoot off. It's pretty good. I kind of like the usage of like the like red, silvers, and golds. Like they're Eggman colors, but it also kind of reminds me of like later modern Sonic stages in terms of aesthetics.
It's Eggman colors, but almost like Eggman built a robot to look like him, and the robot immediately became megalomaniacal like him.
Yeah.
And named himself, maybe an emperor of some kind. And
Maybe.
he said, my colors will be red and gold, and I get the big cool robot.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. I'm also
because Eggman refuses to plan ahead.
As you, like, go through the stage, you get to see little bits and pieces of, like, this, of, like, the sort of, like, big, mech in the background, or maybe, like, mech parts. It's neat. I just think it's neat.
I just think they're neat.
Mm-hmm. From there, we get, like, I'm just skipping ahead to the Act 1 boss. Oh yeah, it's the computer from, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's back again, and you get to fight it again. It's neat. And then we get, the final stage, Titanic Monarch Act 2. It's especially leaning on the, megalomaniacal stuff, cause, a lot of the backgrounds make it look like some sort of, like, dark computer church with stained glass windows of, Eggman and the hard-boiled heavies.
God.
I know, it whips so much.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah, there's, like,
I'm also just, like, a big fan of, like, weird, fucked up robot church shit. So I was like, okay, alright, game.
Yeah.
You got my attention.
Yeah, like, huge fan of anything that's like, what if you were, in a Catholic church, but it was evil?
Oh, so the
Or
Catholic
like, what if you were in a
Church.
regular Catholic church?
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah, I'm just, it's 40K to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The music here is, like, especially, like, dramatic, and, you're gearing up for this big final conflict. There are these big glowy orbs, and, like, some sort of, like, weird teleportation field that you have to go into.
Because it's controlled by the hardboiled heavy emperor.
Yeah,
who has time powers.
Yeah, he's
or
got
whatever.
the Phantom Ruby, lets him warp reality as he sees fit. And he saw it fit to make
Stained glass windows.
Stained glass windows, a dark, scary church.
Maybe all the hardboiled heavies are gay.
Maybe.
They're all gay inside a Catholic church. Pretty...
They're all
Yeah,
gay inside an evil Catholic church, which is just a Catholic church.
Yeah, that's very, like, Judas Priest, so whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very used to have to go to Sunday school, realize they were gay, and they were like, yeah, but I'm adopting the aesthetic.
What if robots were forced to be Christian? I don't know where this is going.
I feel like there's plenty of media in which that is explored. I can't name any right now.
I'm sure it is.
Robot Church, Futurama.
Yeah.
Futurama, the robot devil.
Yeah. True. I don't know why. I was just like,
I'm just like, I'm sure that has to happen by now.
You've heard of church worshipping robots. Now here, robots worshipping church.
You've heard of the separation of church and state, but what about the separation of church and... I don't know where I was going from this.
Separation of church and gay.
Church and...
There we go.
The two genders. Church and gay.
And we can combine them.
Just gonna write that down for my new Lasers and Feelings hack.
Church and gay. Oh no. That's a great Lasers and Feelings thing.
Oh yeah. There's also this thing where, like, certain, like, attacks will, like, certain enemies will, like, surround Sonic in a wireframe, but, if you can, like, get out of it, you're pretty much good to go. It's quite scary. I like it. and eventually you get to fight Eggman, and he's put himself in a weird, I don't know what to describe this, like a
bondage robot outfit.
Yeah, some sort of a dynamo outfit. It's something, and it's playing like a remix of the like really scary boss fight theme from Sonic CD. Sort of like mixed with like some other Robotnik scenes, and at certain points, like the Phantom Ruby hand he's got will like grab you and force you to like fight a hard-boiled heavy again. Like Eggman himself is a little like pretty straightforward, but he's got the hard-boiled heavies on his side, or at least he does. Until the Phantom Ruby goes wild, and we get the true final stage, which is Egg Reverie Zone.
And the Phantom Ruby goes wild!
Yeah! You're in, like, this weird purple plane, and since you've gotten all the Chaos Emeralds, you're going supersonic.
Who's this guy with the Phantom Ruby? Like, who is this?
The Phantom Ruby's just sort of got a mind of its own. It's gonna eventually come up in Sonic Forces, but I wouldn't really worry about Forces.
Okay, no, but I mean, like, this Robotnik, like Eggman, he fights this.
Yeah, he
guy.
like the I guess I think Heavy Emperor like turned themselves into a super robot with the power of the Phantom Ruby or something. It's quite a look.
Yeah, it's just like he fights his creator.
This just keeps happening to Eggman.
Yeah, for real.
And the final boss. Oh, go ahead.
Hyper intelligent robots, Eggman. You're just gonna get like
that maybe have your personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have put too much of the evil in there. But also this final boss theme rules. I think it like incorporates a bit of fist bump because the Phantom Ruby's also in Sonic Forces, which came out the same year.
Oh. That's fun.
Yeah. But so Sonic has to fight both of these guys at once and try to like, you know, keep your ring count good. And then we get the ending cutscene as Titanic Monarch explodes, and also Little Planet is there for some reason, or maybe it's the Death Egg. I think it's Little Planet surrounded in metal or something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the details on that.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's maybe where they were, that's where the Titanic man was, and they destroyed it, which freed the Little Planet?
I guess,
that's what it seemed like, but it was so weird.
I think so.
And the Little Planet becomes Sonic.
Yeah,
Big Sonic.
Yeah,
Little Big
you
Sonic.
see Sonic's face there because it's good now.
He winks, and his friends are like, "So did he die?"
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah.
No.
From there,
Yes.
Yes. From there, you've unlocked Encore mode, which is all remixed versions of the previous stages. I don't have much to say on that. But it's there, and you can play as Mighty and Ray who hadn't shown up in a Sonic game in like 20 years. But
The fans were clamoring for Mighty and Ray.
There was a certain type of guy who really wanted to see Mighty and Ray.
I know.
Mm.
Everyone wants to see him.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps up Sonic Mania.
Yeah, because it's just the game, like, you play as different guys. So.
Yeah.
Kind of a short one, even if you can, like, play it a billion times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, and like, a game doesn't need to be 100 hours long to be a good game.
No.
Sometimes a short game that you can play in like an hour in a quick afternoon and say, I can return to this anytime.
Yeah.
Me
It's
talking
good.
to all the AAA people who are, like, making these big-ass games, and my attention span is like, no.
Yeah, it's the design philosophy around me playing Hades every day is I can do this for 30 minutes and then say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm just gonna real quick look up my Steam time on Sonic Mania. About 10 hours.
Yeah.
I never did Encore mode. That was just like the original game. But, yeah, you can basically finish this over a weekend. If you're having trouble with the special stages like I did.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely would, because I'm not good at Sonic games.
Yeah, plus,
The only Sonic game I'm good at is Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood.
for the Nintendo DS.
For the Nintendo DS,
I
yeah.
haven't played it, so...
Oh,
If you've played Final Fantasy, you've played it.
well,
I've
it's
played, like,
less...
a little bit of a Final Fantasy.
Imagine if Paper Mario was worse and had armor
Was
class.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
And it was
Now
on the
you're
DS.
talking my language. Paper Mario, let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, the newer Paper Mario.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
You have
kidding.
to do a little mini game every time you do an attack.
Oh, that's annoying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Uh-huh.
It's like I'm playing this game. I don't need a mini game inside of this game that I'm already playing. I don't understand.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's a way of making that cool. I mean, I guess that's what Mother 3 does with, like, the music.
Yeah, that's what...
But, like...
It's Paper
Yeah, it'd be
Mario.
cool if this was Mother 3, though.
Yeah, I was like, this is not Mother 3.
Imagine if Sonic had the emotional beats of Mother 3.
Yo, that'd be
Imagine
crazy.
if you would, Mother 3.
Well, thankfully, we're going to learn about next time we record, and I do want to note, recordings are going to be spaced out a little more. I'm just going to, like, make sure I get the episode edited before we record another session, so I don't get the big backlogs that cause huge gaps in episodes going up.
It happens.
Especially,
Yeah.
like, this is the season for shit to slow down, too. So, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are recording this in December.
Yeah, it's fucking... yeah, everything. I'm slower, everyone's slower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sleepy all the time.
It's hibernation time, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Do hedgehogs
It's
hibernate?
fucking...
I think I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I was just
Do they
saying.
hibernate, or do they go into torpor?
Do hedgehogs
I don't know what torpor is.
hibernate?
It's what bears technically do.
Oh, they do hibernate.
Okay.
They are true hibernators that drop their body temperature to match the surroundings and enter a state of torpor.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just like bears. Like, that's what Devin
Yeah.
was saying. Crazy.
Yeah, I think bears aren't technically true hibernators. I think they can actively wake up at points and move around. They just, like, really prefer not to.
Yeah, I've heard that before. But...
Yeah. I know hedgehogs, tardigrades, things like that are true hibernators, where once they're down for a bit.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
People,
ahead.
learn fun animal facts. It enriches your life.
I
pick an
know some
animal
people who fucking love animal facts.
Yeah, just pick an animal and just start learning shit about them.
That's why I was, like, really into, like, Animal Planet as a kid, but...
Oh, yeah, I fucked with Meerkat Manor. That was my anime.
So...
This is my Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I guess that we can go ahead and answer James the Cat Girl's question left over from last session.
Do we have... Yeah, I was like, we have a question? Crazy.
Yeah. James the Cat Girl asks, Heavy Magician is a trans icon. What is your favorite of the hard-boiled heavies?
We already know this answer.
Yeah, my favorite's definitely Heavy Rider.
Mine's the Magician. I
want to, like, get a good look at them together,
all of them?
you know?
Yeah, let me just...
Let me pull them up.
Yeah, hard-boiled heavies.
Do they show up in other games?
No, this is...
They should.
They're in the comics, I think.
Oh, thank God.
I really like Heavy Rider's colors. Like, I just like how pink. I think I like Magician the best, but Shinobi is cool too.
Yeah, Shinobi real cool.
Shinobi.
The cop is mid.
The cop is mid.
Yeah, the cop is probably my least favorite of the five.
Emperor would be mid if it wasn't for popping off with that stained glass.
Yeah.
Egg Emperor's got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps things up. Next time, we're going to talk about another Sonic game. We're going to pick up where we left off however long ago with Sonic Adventure 2.
Finally, we can learn why there are two Sonics.
Yeah, we're gonna open
Who could be
with,
this mysterious Sonic?
There's three
We're
Sonics.
going to open up with one of the most iconic Eggman moments of all time.
There's three Sonics.
Oh, there are three Sonics.
Yeah, there's also Silver the Hedgehog, but we won't see
Then
it
there's
for a
four
while.
Sonics.
Yeah.
I was thinking Metal Sonic, Shadow,
Oh, yeah.
and Sonic.
Oh, you said four Sonics and my brain immediately went, yes, Scourge.
Four I was with Silver included, but yeah. I was counting.
So five Sonics.
Yeah.
Listen, Sonic's got a lot of rivals.
Sonic
that
and the
are kind
Multiverse of
like
Madness.
him.
Sonic is in the new Loki.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Oh
no. So, I think that wraps things up. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find those places at, you can find me on Co-Host, Big Challenges, Tumblr, Bigger Challenge. You can listen to my other podcasts, which include Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. We finished the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. We're going to do a wrap-up episode soon, and in 2024 we'll be moving on to the second season of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
How many 5D seasons are there?
I think 4?
It's weird. Like, a lot of stuff classify it as 2 seasons, like, everything up to the end of Darksiders and then everything after Darksiders. But if you want to get, like, really technical, you can argue, like, maybe like 4 or 5. The way I've got it worked out, scheduling-wise, is going off of the idea that it's 5 seasons.
Oh, okay.
You can also listen to Video Games, the Movie, the Podcast, a video game movie review podcast I do with my friend Maxie. Next up, we recorded an episode on Resident Evil Extinction, and our next episode is going to be on the 2023 Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Here we go. Mamma mia.
Yeah, or whatever he says.
Yeah. Wowie zowie.
Yeah, peaches, 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 peaches.
Zoinks.
Yeah, also...
Have I ever showed you guys the picture of the Bowser from that movie, but it's in like obviously like a church like youth group?
No.
Instead of saying peaches, he's on like a very shitty piano and he's saying Jesus.
Oh my god,
No!
that's great.
I haven't seen
Sorry,
that.
give me a second. Let me find that image again.
Because
Because it's one of my favorites.
yeah. I think that's all the places you can find me. Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morgue on Tumblr and Blue Sky. You can find me at Gengar and Co-host. You can find me on my other podcasts. I still plug it. I don't know if I should, but I still plug 4430 Watch podcast. But my actually active one is, sorry, Devin posted the picture.
Oh my goodness.
My actually active podcast is, Check Out This Guy, a podcast, where we talk about OCs. And
Yeah.
it's been popping off. We actually talked about, fans of this show might be interested. We talked about, Speeding Bullets, cause, it was a different, we did Speeding Bullets, on this show, but we had a different one, that we talked about, on Check Out This Guy. And
Yeah.
it was fun.
Mhm.
And I remembered stuff that there's just like, I was just
You
thinking,
unlocked forbidden memories.
yeah, it unlocked forbidden memories for me about like running into like Joe Biden on the moon. Like there was just a lot happening.
Yeah.
So listen to that one.
A classic example of Emmy running a session of tabletop.
Yeah. That's it for me, Devin.
You can find me on Twitter at Groove and Ghastly. I don't go on there anymore, so probably don't follow me, but sure. And then you can find me on another podcast called We Rate Queerbait, a show where we explore the blurry lines between homies and homos. The last recording that we recorded, we've defeated Lord of the Rings.
Defeated.
We're done with it. Yeah, we defeated it.
You read 3 whole novels.
We read 3 whole novels and watched 3 whole movies, and we decided it's extremely gay, and we don't know if J.R. Tolkien knows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know
We'll
if he
never
knows gay
find
people
out.
exist. We don't know if he understands what he did.
Yeah, I think Sam Frodo, like, molded the minds of generations to come. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, next time we're doing more Digimon, because Digimon is one of the gayest things to ever appear in this world.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we talked about gay episodes on Digimon Ghost Gays.
Yep.
Not to plug a now over podcast, but that exists too.
I think we can plug it out over podcast known as Digimon Ghost Case.
So true.
And you can find us on noisepace.xyz. It is a podcasting network. Also the Sonic Shuffle on Tumblr and co-host. But anyways, noisepace.xyz is a podcasting network with a lot of great shows on it. I think I'm not going to do the alphabetical shout-out thing anymore. I think I'll just shout out something I feel like shouting out. Let me just see what the...
Unless I take over and shout out a podcast.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Go ahead, Morg.
Oh.
I was thinking, I've been sharing my podcast. I think we should, rotate talking about a podcast we listened to or something like that.
I have shouted out one on here before. I shouted out, Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe? But,
yeah.
I will shout out one because I think it's funny because I heard about it from you, Dan, even though I don't even think you've listened to that much of it yet, but, I've been listening to a lot of Apocryphals.
Oh yeah, Apocryphals. It's a Bible podcast by, non-religious people.
Yeah, I always like, people who are like, I mean, their like tagline is like, two non-believers go over the Bible and try not to be jerks about it. But yeah, cause I like, the stories are kind of everywhere, right? Like in all the media, it's in everything in the Western culture. So it's still like, and I was like, wow, I don't know anything about this whole
the Bible kind of crazy.
This whole Bible thing, I don't know anything about it. Maybe I should learn, but also I'm not religious, So I like that there's people that are like, hey, let's approach it from this angle while still being like not like cringe atheist jerk offs about it. And if you like Apocryphals, you probably also like Vacation Bible School, which is one that I'm behind on for that one. And I haven't been listening to it, but that one is also good.
Yeah.
'Tis the season, I guess, for religious shit, so might as well figure it out on Apocryphals.
Yeah, get some Jesus in your guys' lives.
The Apocrypha is really cool, too, which is like some of the stuff they talk about that VBS hasn't, is like the pseudo-apocrypha and the apocrypha, and I don't know the difference fully between them, but I know it's something like, Catholics believe one thing, but not all the Protestants do, and the Orthodox believe it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say if you ever want to get into a topic that's just really funny, is just start learning about all the schisms in like the Christian church.
It's crazy.
There are so many schisms. If there's one thing Christians love to do, is schism.
So true.
I'm gonna go ahead and shout out a Noise Space show, Diet Coke and Lila's House of Snacks. It's a snack review podcast. They've done a lot of fun little things. They uploaded an episode recently on, let me just see here. It was on Tootsie Rolls. They have one also on Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Gummies.
Ooh.
Ew. Some weird regional treats, Pop Secret. I'm just looking at this list of
Capitalism
stuff.
Inspires innovation.
They talk about snacks, and I think that's a great subject for a podcast.
They should, there's so many Trader Joe's snacks. They should talk about some of those. There's so many. I have one sitting right in front of me that I'm gonna eat after this podcast. That's why I was thinking about it. I'm like, I want this so bad. I'm so hungry.
Yeah. This is being recorded in December, and that means it's Jingle Jangle season.
I did not get any Jingle Jangle, but
I got a Christmas sweater that has a cow on it, that has a cowbell on it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's my Jingle Jangle for this season.
Until I think that's it. So until next time, Sonic the Hedgehog is real, he is strong, he is my friend.
He's still the only blue live that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.